But let's start in a seated position and preferably on your ankles like this, if that's comfortable. But if it's not comfortable, you can put a block in between your legs or you can sit cross-legged. So whenever you arrive, just let the eyes close. Let the arms rest wherever they're comfortable. And just take a big cleansing breath to start. So inhaling through the nose and exhaling it all out through the mouth. Just allowing your eyes to rest. They can be closed or just have a soft gaze. And feeling yourself rooting down through your tailbone, through your seat. Your lower back lengthening down toward the ground. And the crown of your head lengthening up toward the sky. Feeling that sensation of being grounded and lifted at the same time. The spine is nice and long. The forehead is relaxed. The eyes and the cheeks and the jaw are relaxed. The shoulders fall away from the ears as you just tune in with the breath. Just allowing your inhales and exhales to come naturally as they do. Just checking in with yourself this morning. Noticing how you're starting your practice, how the mind is, how the body feels, what the senses are drawn to. And then starting to deepen the breath, just adding more consciousness to the breath. As you fill up, feeling the belly rise, followed by the lungs, followed by the heart and the head. As you exhale, the head releases, the heart releases, then the lungs, and then the belly. So you can let this breath, this deep belly breath, be as exaggerated or as subtle as feels good. It's really feeling yourself fill up like a glass of water from bottom to top and emptying like a glass of water from top to bottom. And if you'd like, activating your Ujjayi breath, which is inhaling and exhaling through the nose with a slight restriction in the back of your throat. So the same sensation as if you were to fog up a mirror, but with your mouth closed. Letting this breath be audible, cueing your body to come into the moment, or cueing your mind to come into the body. Now we'll begin to add some movement with the breath. We're starting with our 3-part Taoist breath. On your next inhale, bring your arms out to the side and up, reaching up, getting nice and long. And as you exhale, bring your hands behind the head and then push the air out to the sides as if you were opening up a big doorway. And then inhale, bending the elbows, bringing the hands to shoulders. And then exhale, pushing the hands forward, curling the heart back, tucking the chin down. And then inhale, palms face up, arms reach up, maybe a slight back bend. And then exhale, dive forward into child's pose. Your arms can come behind you or forward, wherever feels good. And then catching the wave of your next inhale, arms coming out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, hands come behind the head, pushing out to the sides. Inhale, fingertips to shoulders. And exhale, push the palms forward, curl the heart back, chin down. Inhale, palms face up, reach up. And exhale, child's pose once again. We'll do one more round of this as you inhale, arms reach out and up. As you exhale, hands behind the head and push out to the sides. Inhale, fingertips to shoulders. Exhale, palms forward, heart back, chin down. Inhale, palms up, reaching up, slight back bend. And exhale to your child's pose. Just pausing for a moment in your child's pose. Letting the breath be steady, feeling the length of the spine. And the next inhale, rise yourself back up to your seat. Bring your hands to your shoulders, and this time take big circles with your elbows. Just drawing circles going forward. You can go about 4 or 5 times, however feels good. Moving as quickly or as slowly as you want. And then switching directions, going backwards or whichever way you didn't go the first time. Just noticing all the kinks, all the creaks in the shoulders. Noticing where the arms are located when you feel those pops or creaks. Maybe spending a little bit more time there. And then whenever you feel ready, you can keep with this if this feels really good, but you can release the arms when you're ready. And just take a few circles with your neck. So bringing the chin down and around. If it doesn't feel good for you to lift or bring your head back, then just stick with the half circles. So bringing your chin to each shoulder and down to the chest. Or if full circles feel really good for you, then you can do that. But same thing here as like what we just did. Moving as quickly or as slowly as your body wants to move this morning. You can linger in any areas that need some more love and skip over any areas that don't feel right. And you can meet with your chin down in the center whenever you feel ready. And inhale, reach both arms up and slightly lift the chin. Get a nice stretch down the throat. And exhale, bring your right arm down to your side and bend over to the right, stretching out the left side of your body. Feeling the space from the left hip through the fingertips. Finding more length as you inhale and bending a little bit deeper as you exhale. And inhale, reach both arms back up. And exhale, take that to the other side. Left arm drops down, reaching over with the right arm to the left. Still feeling that nice long space you're creating. And then inhale, reach both arms back up. Take some few circles with your hands and your wrists. So waking up the fingers, maybe flicking the fingers or wiggling or just rolling out the wrists, just playing around. Just whatever feels good. Getting some kinks out and the joints moving. And then when you're ready, you can bring your hands down in front of your knees and come into your tabletop position. Meeting with your shoulders right over the wrists, your wrist crease parallel to the front edge of the mat, your knees underneath the hips, and the toes are in line with the knees as well. So use this as your time to just get some kinks out in your spine. So you can do your classic cat-cows, inhaling to lower the belly and lift the gaze. And then to your cat pose, or you know the drill, anything at all that feels good. So you can do your side body stretches, you could take circular motions and maybe even close the eyes and just roll out the spine, moving the hips and shoulders in circles, maybe adding the neck in there. Just listening to your body, whatever feels good. You can even come into child's pose for a breath or two. Just feeling yourself moving with your breath. Not super important which movements you're in on an inhale or exhale. Just that as your breath moves, so does your body. You're noticing that relationship. Noticing what feels better to naturally link up. And take about 5 more breaths. Any little movements that feels right. And whenever you're finished with your rounds of breath, we can be in our neutral tabletop position. And then come forward into your puppy pose. So leaving your hips right where they are, just walk the hands forward and melt your heart down. So your hips are staying right over the knees. Perfect. And you're staying pretty active in your forearms and your hands. And instead of just dumping all of your weight into the shoulders, see if you can actively pull your shoulder blades a little bit closer together with your exhales, using the muscles there. And then see if you can surrender fully in the chest and in the heart center. Take 3 more breaths here, breathing into whatever part is speaking the loudest. And then from here, rooting down in the forearms and the hands, start to pull the navel up to the spine and snake your body forward into your Sphinx pose. So your hips are slowly coming to meet on the floor. And you're landing with your shoulders above the elbows, maybe the elbows slightly in front of the shoulders if that feels better. And still keeping the forearms and the hands super active. And then also keeping the legs and the glutes active and the toes. So you can bring your toes to touch, root the big toes into the ground. So the feet are pointed, great. And then fire up all the muscles in the legs. So feel the legs drawing in toward each other. And if when you flex the glutes, if you feel a pinching sensation in your low back, then release the glutes. But if you don't feel that sensation, then you can flex the glutes and root your pubic bone into the ground. And then feel as if you could pull your heart through your arms. Feel as if you could drag the floor toward your toes. Beautiful. 1 more breath here. And exhale, you can release down to the ground. You can make a pillow with your hands, rest your forehead there. Bend the knees in toward the bum and take a few windshield wipers. Massaging the belly, releasing the low back. You can feel your belly rising into the floor as you inhale, feeling that connection. And then bringing the legs back to center. You can reach the legs long again, zipping them up. Same thing, toes pointing in, or the tops of the toes rooting into the mat. And then slide your hands underneath the shoulders this time. And then lift your heart as you inhale. So draw your shoulders down your back, feel the heart lifting, and keeping the belly active. This is your baby cobra. And then tuck your chin down so that you feel the length in your spine. Your gaze should be just above the front of your mat. You should be able to lift your hands off the ground and still be able to stay up. So the hands are lifting off the mat. And baby cobra. Exhale and release. You can do 1 more round of that. On your next inhale, rise up to your baby cobra. Really just paying attention to all the little bits and pieces of this. Noticing how this feels, noticing where you're feeling this. And then exhale, release back down. Hands are staying under the shoulders and bring your elbows to point up. So you're feeling them really close into the ribs. And then tuck your toes under and try to lift your thighs off the ground as you push yourself up through either a plank or a tabletop and come back to your downward facing dog. So first down dog of the day, you can bend your knees as much as they need to bend. Your stance can be as close together as it needs to be. But the hands are about shoulder width distance. The feet are about hips width distance. Maybe stretching out the soles of the feet, bringing the heels up over the balls of the feet. But wherever you are here, just keeping all that energy coming into the sit bones, lifting them as high as possible. Feeling the length in the side bodies, feeling the space between the lower ribs and the hips growing a little bit. And then to get your shoulders in the right position, you can bend your elbows, bringing them out to the sides, hug them in like you're hugging a beach ball, and then straighten out the arms. So feeling that broadness in the shoulder blades. And maybe feeling like you're arching your lower back. And you're not going to actually get an arching shape in the low back, but feeling that sensation, and that will bring some more length into the low back. So, one more breath here. And then bend the knees, look up toward the top of your mat, and start to walk your feet up to meet your hands. No rush at all. And then when you arrive, inhale to lengthen your spine, halfway lift. Exhale and forward fold. So bending the knees so much that the belly can rest on the thighs, so as much as they need to bend. You can do whatever's comfortable with the arms, maybe grabbing opposite elbows, maybe just releasing the hands to rest on the floor, maybe hugging behind the legs, whatever feels right. And then just playing around with shifting your weight forward and back, side to side. Noticing how that changes the stretch ever so slightly. And just finding that middle weight distribution in the feet. Shifting the weight slightly more forward so that you can feel your tailbone lifting a bit higher, even when the knees are bent, feeling the space between the heels and the sit bones. So, releasing the forehead, releasing the jaw, the neck, the shoulders, just letting yourself dangle for a few more breaths. Letting out big exhales. One more time. Very slowly, you can start to rise yourself up to stand. One vertebrae at a time. Just rolling the shoulders back when you make it to the top, bringing the palms to face out in your mountain pose. Letting the blood settle, letting your vision return if it's left. Beautiful. And then feeling the feet actively root into the mat as you feel the crown of your head actively reach up. So the same thing as when we were sitting, feeling that sensation of being grounded down and lifted up at the same time. Now bring your hands to interlace behind your back, and then pull your fist toward the ground and lift your heart toward the ceilings to a slight back bend. Inhaling here. And then exhale, hinge at your hips to your forward fold. So you can let your fists drag you forward, stretching out the shoulders here. If this feels really bad on your shoulders, then feel free to grab opposite elbows. A similar sensation. Or if you have a strap or a shirt, that could be nice to hold as well. But trying to get the heels of your hands together. And it might not be possible today, but driving toward that. One more breath at the shoulders here. And then exhale, just release the arms, let them come down and dangle, maybe shake them out a bit. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen the spine. And exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way up. You can reach the arms back and up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Now we'll interlace the hands behind us again, but this time with the opposite thumb on top. So the way that feels a little bit weird. And then we'll do that again. So you can inhale, pull your fist toward the ground, lift your heart toward the ceiling. And exhale, dive forward to your forward fold. Letting the fist pull you a bit forward, relaxing the head. And from here, inhale, halfway lifts, keeping the arms like this. So imagining the fists pulling up toward the ceiling. Awesome. And then exhale, fold again. And next exhale, you can release the arms down by your side, shake them out a little bit. And then next exhale, root to rise all the way up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, swan dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine, half lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands down, step back to a plank. Always option to bring the knees down here. You can still be in a plank with the knees on the floor. And then just slowly, with control, bending the elbows alongside the ribs, bringing yourself all the way down to the mat. Inhale, lift your heart, baby cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, push yourself back up through table or plank. Tuck your toes and lift your hips, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Feeling that length in the spine, the length down the backs of the legs. And then bend the knees, look up and step up. Halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll move through one more full salutation, just like that. As you inhale, reach up. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Plant your hands, inhale back to your plank. Move through your vinyasa or your flow. So lowering either halfway chaturanga dandasana, if that is in your practice, into your up dog, if that's available, or just down to the mat into your baby cobra. Or if there's any other version of a flow that you want to take, feel free to take that. And throughout the class, if I ever say to move through your vinyasa or move through your flow, feel free to do anything that feels good. You have those options. You can come into a tabletop and take a cat-cow, come into child's pose, or just skip the flows altogether. This is your practice, so just listen to your body. Move at your own pace. On your next inhale, raise your right leg back and up, keeping the hips square, keeping the core strong, feeling this leg lifting from the strength of your leg and the core. The energy reaching through the heel. Perfect. And then bend your knee in towards your chest as you shift your shoulders over wrists and place the foot at the top of your mat. Step your left toes to warrior one leg, so the back toes are facing the front left corner of the mat. Inhale, arms rise up, warrior one. So feet can be as wide and as close together as they need to for your hips to be totally square to the front of your mat. So you're feeling like your left hip's coming forward, right hip's pulling back, just to have them be even. Your front knee is right over the front ankle. Tailbone is pointing down, so you feel that extra length in the low back and that extra stretch in the left hip flexor. 4 corners of both feet firm on the mat. Beautiful. And then from here, bring your hands to interlace behind your back and bring your left thumb on top. Now pull your fist toward the ground, lifting your heart up. And then exhale, hinge forward into humble warrior. So your right shoulder is coming to the inside of your right knee. And you might need to widen your stance quite a bit to get this, because you want to keep everything about your hips the same, or everything about your legs the same. So keeping your inner thighs pulling toward each other, keeping your hips square. Relaxing the head, relaxing the shoulders. Few breaths here. And then use your fists to pull yourself back up to your warrior one. Release the arms, reach them high, maybe shake them out. And then exhale, bring your hands to frame your front foot. Step back to a plank position. Move through a vinyasa if you'd like, and we'll meet in a down dog. maybe letting out a big sigh, maybe fluttering the lips. Letting it go. And when you're ready, on your next inhale, you can raise your left leg back and up. And keeping the core super active, keeping that left leg super active. Feeling the strength of your body here. And then bending your knee into your chest, shift your shoulders over wrists and place your foot at the top of your mat. Step your right foot into warrior one legs and rise up warrior one. The same thing over here, take your time just getting into the right alignment. Really feeling yourself click into place, feeling your hips square to the front, four corners of both feet on the ground, tailbone points down so that you really feel that extra length in the spine, in the low back. Arms can be wherever they're comfortable. You can be reaching up on your hips at heart center, feeling the strength of your legs, the magnetic pull between the inner thighs. Beautiful. And then bring your hands now to interlace behind your back with your right thumb on top, or whatever thumb you didn't do the first time. And then pull your fist toward the ground, lifting the heart up. And then exhale, hinge at your hips and lead with your heart coming into your humble warrior. So your left shoulder is coming to the inside of the left knee, but your hips should stay pretty square. So if you need to heel toe your left foot out a bit to fit your torso in there, you can do that. Letting the neck and the head release so your gaze is toward the back of the mat. You can even do like an inhale half lift. So like bringing yourself up a little bit, just lengthening the spine and then folding even deeper. Just for another round of breath. And then using your fists and the strength of your core and your legs to bring yourself back up to stand. Perfect. Release the hands, reach them up, shake them out. And then exhale, hands can come down, frame the front foot. Step back to a plank, move through a flow if you want to, and we'll meet in a down dog. Letting it go here. And then when you're ready, you can bend the knees, look up toward the top of your mat, and make your way up to a halfway lift as you inhale. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Just pause for a moment here. Check in. Feel the heartbeat. Feel the breath. Maybe feel the sweat. Relaxing the face, the shoulders. Coming back to this moment. And on your next inhale, raise both arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips and forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, let it go. At the hands, step back to a plank. Move through a vinyasa if you'd like, and we'll meet in a down dog. And then whenever you arrive in your down dog, just inhale, raise your right leg back and up. And exhale, bend the knee into the chest and step it to the top of your mat. Pivot your back foot now to warrior two legs and we'll rise up warrior two. So your back foot's parallel to the back edge of your mat. Feeling this right hip opening up. That sensation of it tucking under as your knee reaches toward the pinky side of the foot. Both feet are strong, both legs are strong. Beautiful. Arms are proud, reaching from the heart center. Shoulders are relaxed. And then from here, raise your back heel off the ground as you bring your hips square to the front, coming into a high lunge. And keep the hands lifting up or have them on your hips. Feeling the strength of your back leg, beautiful. And then you can either leave your hands on the hips here or bring them back behind you to airplane arms. And just slowly, slowly start to shift your weight more toward your right foot. Maybe your back foot comes off of the ground into warrior three. Really flexing the back foot, keeping that heel really proud. Beautiful. It's okay, that's wobbly. It's okay if you fall, just getting back up. A few more breaths. Find your focal point. Feel the power of your core and your hips. Beautiful. And then really slowly, just start to bring your left foot to meet your right. Awesome. Great. Maybe shake out the standing leg, do whatever you need to do. When you're ready, inhale, reaching the arms up. And exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Plant the hands and step right back to your down dog this time. We'll do that on the other side. When you're ready, you can inhale your left leg back and up. And exhale, knee comes to chest and step it to the top of your mat. Back foot pivots parallel to back edge of the mat as you rise up, warrior two. Same thing over here, feeling that hip opening up. Feeling the left knee reaching toward the pinky side of the foot. The hip feeling like it's tucking under. Arms are proud, shoulders are relaxed. Tailbone still reaching straight down, crown of the head reaching straight up. Feeling the power of this pose, the power of your legs, of your feet, of your torso. And now as you're ready, so to lift your back heel as you pivot your hips parallel to the front edge of the mat, I'm going to do a high lunge. So feeling your back heel proud, maybe bringing it up over the ball of the foot as the back of your knee lifts up. Inner thighs pull in toward each other, feeling that lift. Beautiful. And as you start to feel ready and steady, you can slowly start to shift more weight into your left foot. Maybe that foot rises off the ground, and maybe it doesn't. That's okay too. But feeling that sensation of the power of your left leg in your warrior three. So even if your leg is low, just feeling the straight line from your leg and your torso. So the torso goes as the leg goes. The leg is lower, then the torso is higher, and the goal is to have it parallel to the floor. So wherever you are is perfect. Another breath, and then really slowly with control, seeing if you can lower your right foot to meet your left. Awesome. Taking it out as you need to. And then next inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Plant the hands, step back to a plank. Move through a flow if you'd like, and we'll meet in a down dog. Once you arrive in your down dog, you can bend the knees and look up to the top of your mat. Step up to your halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart center. We'll do one more thing for balancing on each side. So as you're ready, coming into your mountain pose and feeling more of the weight shifting to the left side of your body. Feeling totally sturdy here. And then coming into kickstand, we'll start with our tree pose. So if you want to come up right away, you're welcome to do so, or you can take it step by step. So starting feeling sturdy in kickstand, then maybe bringing the sole of your foot to the calf, or maybe grabbing it and bringing it to the inside of the thigh, just avoiding the knee area completely. Wherever you are, finding your focal point, feeling the power of your standing leg, feeling your standing leg pushing into your balancing foot as the balancing foot pushes into the standing leg. That whole center line of gravity from the sole of your left foot through the crown of the head. And then very slowly release your foot as you bring your knee to face forward, flexing that foot as if you were standing on the ground. And then grab the outside of your right knee with your left hand and bring your right hand back behind you. You can either reach back or reach to your hips. And just coming into the standing twist. So your shoulders are squaring to your right and your hips stay square to the front. Awesome. And come back to center and slowly lower your foot to the ground. Beautiful. Shake out your standing leg, and we'll do that on the other side. So whenever you're ready, you can start coming into your tree pose on the right side. So shifting more weight there, getting comfortable on the right. Maybe coming into a kickstand, or coming with the foot on the calf, or in the inner thigh. Trusting wherever you are today, knowing balancing is different every minute of every day. Trusting and honoring where you are today. Finding your focal point, finding your breath. Feeling all the little components of this pose. Awesome. Feeling yourself balanced. And slowly, with control, releasing the foot and the knee, bringing the knee back to center, keeping the foot flexed will really help you out. And you can grab the outside of your knee with your right hand and reach back with your left hand, or bring the hand to the lower back, wherever's comfortable. Just taking this standing twist. Feeling hips square to the front, shoulders square to the left. Awesome. And slowly, with control, coming back to center and lowering your foot to meet your right. Taking out the leg as you need to. And then just stepping the feet as wider than your hips. We'll come into our wide leg forward fold. So the hands come to the hips. And you lift the heart up as you inhale. And exhale, hinging at your hips to your wide leg forward fold. Arms resting wherever they want to. They can come to the floor. They can stay on the hips if that feels good, or grab opposite elbows. Just let yourself surrender here. Let your head be heavy. Let your torso be heavy. Shifting the weight forward and back on the feet. And then finding that middle ground and shifting the weight slightly forward from there. Lifting your sit bones as high as you can. Letting big exhales come as they need to. Two more breaths here. And then very slowly, you can find your way back up to standing. Maybe walking the hands up the legs. And just pausing at the top. Letting the blood settle back in. And when you're ready, you can turn back to face the front of your mat and step your back foot up to meet your front foot. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Let the hands step back to your downward facing dog just for a moment. And then slowly bend the knees, allow them to find the mat. Untuck the toes and come into your child's pose. And so if you'd like the focus to be more on the spine today, toes together and knees together will work great. And if you would like to focus more on the hips, toes together and knees as wide as your mat. Arms can be reaching forward for more length in the spine. You can stack your hands underneath the head or bring the arms back behind you. Trusting wherever you naturally fall here. And letting the breath catch back up. Feeling the jaw heavy. Feeling the hips heavy on the heels. Feeling the shoulders release. And slowly, as you're ready, you can come up to a seat on your heels. Shift your weight to either side and bring the legs out long in front of you. You can bring yourself to the center of your mat if you're not there. And bend your right knee into your chest and step your right foot outside of your left thigh. Bring your right hand behind your sit bones and inhale, reach your left arm up. Feel some length in the spine, feel your heart lift. And exhale, twist to your right. So you can wrap your right hand around the thigh or hook the elbow on the outside of the knee. But feeling your heart lifting, feeling the spine lengthening as you inhale. And exhale, twisting a little deeper, maybe even looking over your right shoulder. Feeling yourself twisting from the navel. And a few more breaths. And then you can start to unwind the neck first and then coming back to center. From here, just start to heel toe your right foot off to the left and bring your right knee on top of your left knee. Coming into a half shoelace pose. So letting your right knee stack on top of the left. Let your left foot be active. So the top of the foot's reaching toward the shins, the toes are pointing straight up. And then bring your hands to either side of your leg and just start to walk the hands forward and hinge at your hips. So you're feeling a nice stretch in the inside of your right hip and a deeper stretch in the hamstring, in your left hamstring with the weight of your right leg on top. You can stay with the spine long, hinging at the hips, or if it feels better to relax here and to curl the spine, you can do that as well. You can play around with what feels best in your body today. Notice where this is loudest for you. Maybe it's in the hamstring, maybe it's in the hip, or maybe it's in the spine. Maybe it's somewhere different altogether. Wherever it is for you, just bring your attention there. Allow your breath to travel to that area, energizing and softening it with each breath. Two more full rounds of breath here. And then slowly start to walk your hands back toward the hips. And bring your right foot out straight in front of you and shake out the legs. And we'll do that on the other side when you're ready. So you can hug your left knee into the chest and step your left foot outside of your right thigh. Left hand can come behind the sit bones as you inhale, reach the right arm up and get length in the spine, feel a heart lift. And exhaling to twist to your left. So you can hook the elbow, grab the leg, whatever feels best. Just feeling this nice torso twist on the other side. Maybe your gaze looks over the left shoulder. Each inhale, you find more length in the spine. In each exhale, you twist a tiny bit deeper. One more breath. And slowly start to unwind. You can bring your head back to center, your shoulders back to center. And then just start to heel toe your left foot more to the right so that your left knee falls on top of the right. Coming into this half shoelace on the other side. And same options as on the other side. So you can keep your right foot really flexed if you want to intensify the stretch on your hamstring. You can keep your heart proud, the spine length, or the spine keeping long as you hinge forward. Or you can curl if that feels better. Trying out them both, seeing what's best. Feeling this stretch quite a bit deeper in the right hamstring than usual, just with the added weight of your left leg. Let's take 3 more really full exhales right where you are. See what else you can let go of. Very slowly starting to walk your hands back toward the hips. And release your right or your left leg straight in front of you. Shake them both out. And as you're ready, you can bend the knees, grab the backs of the thighs, and just slowly lower yourself to lay on your back. When you arrive, step the heels of your feet closer to your sit bones so that your tips of your fingers can graze the backs of the heels. Now start to root down in your hands and in your arms into the mat. Root down in the shoulders. As you inhale, lift your hips up toward the ceiling, coming into a bridge pose. You can keep the glutes flexed if that feels good, but see what happens when you release the glutes. See what other muscles have to take over. With the glutes being such a strong muscle in our body, sometimes the other muscles will take a back seat. So when we consciously relax the glutes, we can activate the other muscles in the fronts of the legs and the core. Rooting down your shoulders, rooting down the back of your head so that you feel some more space growing in the neck. A few more breaths. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, from top to bottom, lower your spine down to the mat. Your tailbone being last to make it. And then you can step your feet as wide as your mat and just let your knees knock in toward each other. Releasing the back. Resting here for a moment. And then we'll take a second round of our bridge pose when you're ready. So you can step your heels closer to the glutes so the fingertips can graze the backs of the heels. And as you're ready, you can inhale to lift your hips up. Maybe this time you roll your shoulder blades underneath the spine and interlace your hands underneath your sit bones. Wherever you are, feel the arms and the hands actively rooting into the floor, feeling how that action lifts your hips a little bit higher. Imagine that there was a block between your thighs and you're squeezing the block closer together. So feeling the legs really active. The back of your head is rooting straight into the mat. Feeling some more space in the throat. Lifting a little bit higher with each inhale for 2 more rounds of breath. And then slowly bringing the shoulders down to the mat first, and slowly, one vertebrae at a time, bringing yourself back down to the mat. You can step your feet as wide as your mat, and this time take a few windshield wipers with the knees back and forth, massaging the glutes, releasing the lower back. And then we'll do one more pose to counter the bridge pose we just did. We're going to come into a shoulder stand and a plow pose. So it's very important to not move your neck at all while you're in this pose. And if you have any neck problems, or if your neck is hurting you today, just feel free to skip this pose and come right into your legs up the wall. If you'd like to try out your shoulder stand and plow, you can shimmy your hands so they're underneath the bum. And then start to lift your knees toward you and use your core to lift your feet or lift your legs up toward the ceiling. You can bring your hands to your lower back and start to walk them up the spine, closer to your neck. Awesome. You can use the momentum of rocking there too. And then feel your core really straighten out. Feel your core be super strong, toes point up. And then you can slowly hinge at your hips and lower your legs back behind your head, coming into your plow pose. You can bend the knees if that feels better into a snail pose. And you can leave the hands here, or you can interlace them, bring them to the floor, maybe shimmying the shoulders a little closer together. Wherever you are, breathing deeply. Listening to your body. If at any point this feels like way too much, feel free to come out early. We'll take a few more breaths here. Each exhale, feel your spine getting even longer. And to come out of this, you can separate your shoulder blades, bringing them to the ground. Bring your hands to your lower back. And slowly, 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 with as much control as possible, using your strong core, bring yourself down to your back. Slowly unwinding, resting here. Bring your feet to the ground. Maybe take a few windshield wipers. And then we'll take one final counter for the plow pose we just did. So you can reach your legs long on the mat. Zip them up, point the toes. Bring your elbows to the sides of your body and bring them up underneath the shoulders. Tilt your head back and try to bring the top of your head to the floor here. This is your fish pose. And feel your heart lifting straight up. Your head doesn't even have to touch the floor, but you just feel this nice back bend. And then slowly you can lower, bring the back of your head back down to the mat. Maybe take some windshield wipers, or you can hug the knees into the chest and just rock side to side. And if the knees are rocking side to side, you can just let your knees rock off to the right side of your mat. Let them stay here for a moment. Twisting out the spine. And then bringing the knees back to center. Let them rock to the other side. And coming back to center, reaching the feet and the arms up toward the ceiling. This evening, out the torso, feeling all the blood come into the hips and the shoulders. Feel the energy releasing through the soles of the feet and the hands and the fingertips. Feel the breath slow down. Feel the organs resting on the back body. Feel the belly soft, the face soft. Feeling the stillness of this moment. If you would like to, you can bend the knees and come into your happy baby. Grabbing whatever's available, the feet, the toes, the ankles, the shins, the thighs. Maybe finding stillness here, or maybe rocking side to side. As you're ready, you can let the soles of your feet find each other and slowly lower outside edges of the feet to rest on the mat. Coming into reclined bound angle pose. And you're more than welcome for this pose to be your Shavasana if you feel really comfortable here. But if you would like to straighten out the legs coming into your final resting pose, you may do so whenever you feel ready. Practicing allowance. Allowing your body to be fully supported by the mat beneath you. Releasing any need to hold anything up. Releasing any need to change anything about this moment. Trusting in your body, trusting in the practice. Allowing this practice to heal you. Allowing your muscles to release and surrender. Feeling the forehead expand. The cheeks soften. And the jaw relax. Noticing the pulsing sensation throughout your entire body. And resting in this total body awareness for a few more minutes. Letting yourself be. You're more than welcome to stay much longer here if you'd like to or need to. If you're feeling ready to come out of this Shavasana, just allow my voice to guide you. First, just noticing how slow your breath has become. Maybe it's almost not even there. And then as you notice, the breath automatically deepens. Then consciously draw air back into the body. Fill up every corner, every edge of the body with air. As you inhale, and just release anything you don't need as you exhale. Begin to rock the head side to side, maybe wiggle the fingers, the toes, feet, the hands, and the ankles, and the wrists. If you would like to, you can take a nice morning stretch, reaching the arms overhead to get the body super long. And then hug the knees in toward the chest, finding yourself in a fetal position on one side. Pausing for just a moment here. And then as you feel ready, with the eyes closed for now, you can make your way back up to your seats. We're meeting with our hands at heart center. And feeling your heartbeat and fully thanking yourself and your heart for your practice today and every day you practice. And may this practice continue to heal you throughout the rest of your Sundays into a wonderful week. May you bring some of this love and light into everything you do and to everyone you see. Namaste.